Good morning. Welcome, book friends, and welcome back to Books and Gratitude. Today I'm talking about a book that completely surprised me in the best possible way. They Prefer It Hidden by Kenneth Fald. This is a 5-star read for me because the premise alone grabbed my attention and the story kept me interested from there. I mean, looking for purpose is already hard enough in real life, and most of us have asked those big questions at one point or another. What am I supposed to do? How am I going to make a living? Who am I doing this for? And what does my life actually mean? Now imagine asking all of that while also dealing with zombies, invisible monsters, occult mysteries, and a town that desperately wants everything strange to stay hidden. That's the world of They Prefer It Hidden. The story follows Jonathan Whitlock. He inherits the job of occult investigator from his late uncle. And this isn't exactly the kind of inheritance that comes with a nice house, a dusty box of old letters, or a family heirloom tucked away in the attic. Jonathan inherits responsibility. He inherits danger. He inherits a town called Helford, and it's a place that wants to appear normal, even though there are a lot of things lurking beneath the surface that are anything but normal. And I love that setup. There's something so compelling about a character who doesn't necessarily go looking for purpose, but has purpose dropped into his lap anyway. Jonathan isn't just trying to understand the supernatural world around him, he's also trying to understand himself. He has to figure out what this new role means, what it's going to cost him, and whether he's actually capable of becoming the person Halford needs him to be. And helping him along the way is his warlock friend Thomas, and their friendship adds so much charm to the story. I always enjoy books where the supernatural elements are fun and strange, but the heart of the story still comes back to connection. Yeah, there are monsters and there's mystery, and of course, there are eerie, secretive things happening in this town. But underneath all of that, this is also a story about stepping into the unknown with somebody beside you. That's always important, and I appreciate that the most. And the tone of this book feels very imaginative. It's weird and adventurous and very entertaining. It has that urban fantasy energy where the world feels familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. And Halford isn't just a backdrop. It really feels like a character in its own right, full of secrets, danger, and personality all on its own. And I love when a fictional town has that kind of atmosphere, where you can almost feel the hidden corners and the strange history pressing in around the characters. And for me, They Prefer It Hidden works because it takes a big emotional question, what is my purpose in this world? And wraps it in a story full of supernatural chaos. And you know me, I am a huge supernatural fanatic, not just the show, but anything supernatural. And this contrast makes the book really fun, the supernatural contrast of everything and the what is my purpose trope. It also gives this story its meaning. Jonathan's journey isn't just about fighting the monsters, it's about learning how to live with the responsibility. It's about figuring out who you are when life hands you something you never expected. And honestly, isn't that relatable? Aren't we all kind of going through that? Most of us aren't battling invisible monsters or defending secretive towns from occult threats, thank goodness. But we do know what it feels like to be unsure. We know what it feels like to wonder whether we're on the right path. We know what it feels like to be handed something difficult and think, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And that's why this story stood out to me. It's creative, it's unusual, it's fun, but it also has heart. And I'm giving They Prefer It Hidden by Kenneth Fald 5 stars because the premise is interesting. The world is engaging, and Jonathan's search for purpose gives the story an emotional center beneath all the supernatural weirdness. So if you enjoy urban fantasy, occult mysteries, strange small towns, monsters, magic, friendship, and stories about ordinary people being pulled into extraordinary situations, this is definitely one you should check out. And now for today's words of gratitude. Today, I'm grateful for stories that remind us purpose doesn't always arrive in a neat, easy, obvious way. Sometimes it shows up as a challenge. Sometimes it feels inconvenient. And sometimes it scares us before it actually shapes us. And I'm grateful for books that let us explore fear and uncertainty and explore courage and calling from a safe distance. I'm grateful for authors who create strange worlds that still tell the truth about real life. And I'm grateful for the reminder that even when we don't feel ready or think that we aren't, we can still take the next step. Because finding purpose isn't always easy, but maybe sometimes purpose finds us. Thank you so much for listening to Books and Gratitude. Until next time, keep reading, keep noticing the good, and keep making room for gratitude. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment and share this with other book lovers. Thank you and have a happy and safe 4th of July.